Would you look at that? Look what I got on right now. Elite Sports branded apparel. Is it because I work for this podcast? Is it because I created this podcast? Yes, to all of those questions and more. It's also because this sweater saved my life in Dallas because I was so cold. Thank God I brought this in my jacket, in my bag. Super warm, super comfy. Most of all, it says squaring around. So you can support the show today. Go to elitesports.com. Shop their full list of athletes, too. It's not just us on there. Use code SQUARE at checkout. Elitesports.com. Use code SQUARE.
Tired of winning the tailgate, but losing the games? We can't help that. But we can tell you what the hell is up with each team and what's going on across sunny San Marcos. Texas State fans, get on your feet. You're listening to Squarin Around with Jakob Rodriguez and Andrew Zimmel.
Hi, it's Fat Bastard, piece of shit Andrew Zimmel, and co-host Jakob Rodriguez, coming to you after a successful Season 1. Season 2, we have a lot of things we want to get to. We made you laugh, we made you cry, we made you celebrate in Season 1. Season 2, there's going to be new enemies. There's going to be new pitfalls.
New loves.
New loves.
New life.
New life, yeah. Jakob loved and lost. I lost and then loved. What could happen in Season 2? Let's get into it. It's squaring around, bro. What's up, buddy?
Man, let me tell you. So I really didn't know how we were going to wrap up last season. And that was like the thing I was thinking about the entire time we started. Like from episode 1 on, I was like, how the fuck do we wrap this shit up?
How do we do a podcast?
And then the football team got good. And I was like, fuck, there goes like 2 months out of the year. We're just busy as shit. Fucking November and December rolls around. We're still covering this team the day after Christmas. It was kind of miserable. I won't lie.
You are the person who has a jumbo jet and is like, I can't believe they're making me pay an admissions tax. Shut the fuck up. We won a bowl game for the first time ever.
And it's the first postseason that Texas State ever embarked on. So we got to cover a lot of history last year, becoming bowl eligible, winning our first bowl game, beating our first Power 5 fucking school. And a lot of other stuff. Scoring 70 points in Bobcat Stadium, realizing that the broadcast could be better, realizing that our podcast
that's not new. That's not new.
That's not new.
The broadcast could be better. They did I think because we're gonna get to it here in a minute, New Year's resolutions as we record on the 10th of January.
This is the perfect time, Andrew. I told you before we recorded this show, I was like, this is when people, you might have relapsed on your sober or dry January shit. You might have already given up on your New Year's resolutions, but now is the time to tap back in. When you see our smiling faces, me mustachioed and Zimmel clean shaven on your screen.
Jakob looks like he should be patrolling the border. Looks like
Let me tell you, there's a lot of guys like me from the Valley who are patrolling the border right now.
Fucking super trooper over here.
Either through the state funding them to do it or their own volition. They're on the border and they look just like me.
And you're fitting right in, brother.
Yep.
No, it's funny. That today is quit day as we record this. People quitting, their stuff. Hopefully now they're not quitting sobriety.
Remember when the fucking NFL season was like 16 weeks long and it used to be like Black Friday and like every coach
Black Monday, yeah. When coach got fired.
Yeah, exactly. And they would get canned all the time. I feel like that's what the transfer portal and the CFP and the extension of the NFL season and playing all these games on Saturdays has really fucked over, is that the coaching carousel is a little less obvious. But what you're hinting to right now, as we record this podcast, what just dropped across the college football Twitter sphere was Nick Saban out at Alabama. He says he's retiring. He's going to eat his little Debbie cookies in peace, finally.
Yeah, Jacob, the thing about Nick Saban that a lot of people don't quite grasp is that Alabama job is probably the most sought-after job in college football. A lot of people are talking about how, the expectations are really high. But you got to remember that every college football coach is a competitor. Everybody from Jeff Traylor at UTSA to Dabo Sweeney at Clemson. It does not matter. The entire treasure trove of coaches is wide open, including our guy, G.J. Kenny. So I am very glad that Texas State got him on a contract, because
Mhm.
how fitting would it be if, like, God forbid something happened, and I don't think any of the coaching tree for GJ would take the Alabama job, but wouldn't it be kind of wild if he went from winning a bowl game at Texas State to being the quarterback coach in Tuscaloosa? So I think it's a very realistic thing for some of the coaches around college football, that I think every team needs to, who have not given their coach a contract, this will be used as a negotiating tool for sure.
Fucking crazy, honestly. Yeah. And you can only hope you're like the Miami Heat and Eric Spoelstra, who gave him his $120 million contract extension after his divorce filing went through. So
I was
shout out
really
to the
hoping
Miami
that
Heat.
Ish and Craven were going to run it back to us, like, middle of November, because that would have been peak.
No. Yeah, that does bring me to my next trick, though. The one thing I am good at is pulling open records requests from the school. So I got GJ's contract. It's like a $3 million buyout after 2024. Bunch of incentives, a bunch of different things going into it. He's the first millionaire coach. And what I mean by that is he's the first coach to get $1 million per contract year at a base salary, excluding
Now,
all the retention bonuses and whatever else GPA boosts he gets.
Nerd Jacob,
Nerd Jacob.
let's really nerd out here.
Yeah.
He's getting $1 million, no income tax for Texas. He's not getting $1 million. He's getting like $750,000
Yeah, it's
with
like,
taxes taken out.
of course. Yeah,
No,
depending
I
on what he does for his elections too. He could opt for the government to take more out of his checks per year, so he's in a lower tax bracket,
totally
which would
fair.
be
No, I
smart.
just thought it was worth mentioning here, in election year, that GJ Kenny is getting his $1 million.
Yeah, exactly. Before you got to secure that political advertising first.
Yeah,
And the second thing I wanted was the money for the coaching pool. So I think that
which is
sits
super
at
important.
like, what is it? It's like
1.6.
Yeah, 1.6 million for the total. You can look at what it was in 2016. It was not 1.6, it was like 930 or something like that. That's ridiculous even for them. And if you're wondering, hey, how come we didn't have any good guys back then? That's why.
Yeah, no, and the big thing about college football right now, on a coaching side of things, is keeping your good head coach and then retaining his staff. Because in the wild west of college football, you potentially could have an offensive coordinator who starts his coaching career as a GA, or starts his coaching career as a specialist coach, like a wide receiver coach or running back coach. And you might think, as a head coach, hey, in like 5 to 10 years, or let's go two recruiting classes in 8 years, this guy could be my OC. But he might not be there, because a school like Sam Houston State could say, "Hey, we want you to be co-offensive coordinator," or a school like an FCS school might grab him too. So to have the money to retain the coaches is very important. 1.6 is good. UTSA is 2.5 though, and that is something that Texas State, I have to imagine, when they knocked the number up, probably thought to themselves, hey, we need to get this in the ballpark. Because what you, again, don't want to have happen here is a situation where Matt Leftwich decides to go to UTSA, right? You want to have a position where we're paying our coaches a very fair salary, and that they want to stay around San Marcos.
Well, and that's where some of those like coaching pool money and salary like things can get a little dubious, because let's say a coach Leftwich did get an offer outside and then Texas State were to match it or something. Obviously, that money is just going right back into that pool. So the pool becomes larger, but somebody else is getting a bigger percentage of that same pool. So it could really be the same thing. Like.
It's all the pie. Yeah, it's 1.6 million, and that they are trying to divvy the pie as fairly as possible.
Yeah.
But the way Texas State works, the way a lot of college football works, and the way a lot of sports works, is that the higher on the totem pole, the more of the pie you're going to get. The lower on the totem pole, the less you're going to get.
Hmm.
I imagine that a lot of these guys have meal plans and school subsidized housing. So maybe a couple coaches might be living in apartments on campus, or living apartments nearby. I know some GAs deal with that. Hopefully that isn't the case in like a couple years, and that all these guys can afford to,
No.
do their own thing.
Head coaches, like in the past 10 years, have just finally started to take their head strength and conditioning coaches off of food stamps, pretty much. Do you remember when those guys were making like $15,000 a year and then were
And they
having to
had other
work as like
jobs, like
substitute teachers and stuff? Yeah.
you have your strength coach that's also like the head trainer at like the local like YMCA or the local fitness, and you're like, okay, so this guy is winning us conference championships, but also he has to like work on the side. Yeah, you're right. They're finally getting like fair wages. So unionize the coaching staff.
Yeah, barely. So which is what I said about the Austin American Statesman in 2016. Like, now you guys are trying to unionize. Seems a little late. Anyway, there's a lot of things to talk about. Let's flash back right now to the bowl game. Let's recap it just slightly. Let's talk about our likes, our hates. There's also a lot of other things to talk about too, though. There's portal stuff, draft day.
You got the George Costanza. I got a lot of problems.
I got a lot of shit to talk about because we have been off. We've gone on like a 2-week hiatus because I think we went like more than a year doing this podcast without any time off. Pretty good.
Boo hoo, work harder. Yeah. No, it was a great time. SMU's campus is still one of the prettiest campuses in Texas. I put it up against any campus.
Even with all the construction going on right now?
Even with the construction going on. And we said the difference between public universities and private universities is how clean everything is. You're spending a lot of
construction going on.
You're spending a lot of money, so you better make sure that those garbage cans are readily available. Incredible atmosphere. SMU has a great stadium. It's a real shame that they can't put fans in that stadium. We thought it was ironic that they had all the ACC stuff all over the place. They're really trying to pump their fan base up to join the third best conference in college football, maybe the fourth, when the dust settles here.
Still had the American A on it.
The pros, the win, of course, the fans, of course. I really liked the weather. The temperature was like perfect. It was like one of those things where,
man, what are you talking about?
I had a great time.
I literally begged you to bring me a jacket.
I thought it was perfect temperature. It felt like college football.
Thank God I brought my Elite Sports branded gear and apparel so I could wear. It's true. My fucking ass off, dude.
I thought it was a great time. I thought the weather was great.
I did wear a full suit, so yeah. I had a great time too walking around with you. This is your first game back, and I mentioned to you this in the box, but you were like scaring the shit out of me because you kept asking me all these questions and being a real nervous Nelly. And I was like, "What the hell is up with Captain Anxiety over here?" Hasn't been to a game.
Here's the thing. I really wanted us to win that game. I really wanted us to win that game. And the thing is too is that like the first game I'm coming back, if we would have lost, we would have done the podcast and been like, Zimmel's in North Dakota. We won 8 games. Or 7 games, and now he comes home. We lose. Yep. And I was concerned that you would
have a worse curse than Craven.
I'm better looking than Craven, so he's already got a worse curse than me.
You both have glasses, both white. Both have glasses. Both have white man syndrome.
Both college football nerds. Yeah. I mean, like I was nervous we weren't going to win that game, but we did, and we looked good doing it, and. A lot of people were talking to me after the game that they thought Texas State wouldn't get the job done through the first 2 quarters. Going into halftime, I think they only had like a 3-point lead. They had a field goal lead. I felt confident out of halftime that we were going to win that game. Like and I think maybe you can agree with me that I was a lot less nervous in the third quarter and fourth quarter than I was.
Oh yeah. Let me get my 3 hates off real quick. The first hate, we walked in, got our press passes, totally fine. There's so much fucking construction happening at SMU. It has also impacted the way in which you get to the press box. So we have to go up 3 floors on an elevator, get off of that elevator, walk down a hall into this labyrinth, then go up 2 more floors on a separate elevator, then find our seats. I'm just saying it sucked. Second thing was when we got our food, which was just like Zaxby's or some bullshit like that. It was cold as shit, and I was angry.
What are you expecting? You're expecting like a 5-course meal?
I'm not expecting a 5-course meal. I'm just saying when Texas State serves food, it's warm in the press box, and I appreciate it. Shout out Chris Coots. The third thing, me and you tried to get on the field not once, but twice. And we were rejected both times by a very ornery stadium official. And,
which I totally get.
Yeah. So the first time that was on us. We didn't have a special little thing or whatever. The second time, though, was when we were allowed to be on the field, like 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter. We were trying to go, and this guy was just a real stickler for the rules. And I was like, this would be the only stadium in America where where I have not been able to get onto the field in my entire career as a sports journalist.
Well, and I think that you checked the box that we should have been on the field. I think we should have got that
Yeah.
star.
I even told him, I was like, hey man, like I'm in a full suit. What do you think I'm gonna do here? Like I'm here for work.
Yeah, like I don't know. Can we talk about other likes and dislikes?
Yeah, let's go.
Carter Yates.
Oh yeah, great.
We like Carter.
Wow, 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 wow.
I have Carter in my like bucket. I think he has me in his dislike bucket. That's my take.
I think so too. I would
Which
agree.
hurts my feelings. So now
Carter
I'm like,
Yates,
what?
DCTF. So if you're not reading Carter, he imagine like a very
He's so
young
good.
Mike Craven, but he's so good. He's out of
But
college.
he's better.
He's way better, honestly. Yeah.
Honestly, like I mean, I Carter doesn't shit on Texas State all the time.
Yeah. By the way, Mike Craven already shitting on Texas State in his football power rankings to start out the year. He has Texas State at what was it, 9 or something like that?
I cannot wait to see his.
Yeah, 9.
I can't wait to see his 2024 all team preseason all team because with no Frank Harris, who will he possibly put at quarterback?
One of my
And
buddies
it's not. It's just the quarterback position that he was like capping for. Oh,
Yeah.
it's frustrating.
One of my buddies was like, "Hey man, national championship. If the Scooby Doo gang was there and they arrested Michael Penix Jr. and took off his mask, it would be Frank Harris."
God,
Left-handed
maybe.
quarterback, multiple surgeries. Yep, sounds about right.
Yeah, that sounds about right. No, I think that Carter was done with my obnoxiousness. I think that like the first 15 jokes solid, the next 15 jokes a little less solid, the next 45 he was like, I'm done with this guy.
That just needs to be. You need to be a better comedian. You know, you have a solid 5. You know,
I don't think so. I'm a
when the red light comes on, you got to get off the stage. Then
I'm a quantity, not a quality guy. I'm gonna
that's
put
not
up.
good. I feel like that's
I'm, I'm gonna put up like 100 shots, but like 10 of them are like fucking ball busters. You know,
I don't think that's a good thing to do.
hey, it's worked for me so far.
Dude, like that's what Aubrey Graham did in Degrassi. He just kept making fun of the same guy in the same way, and look what happened to him.
Multi-platinum recording artist Drake.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like I'm gonna be okay.
There's a couple other things I wanted to talk about. First, the portal. Anybody watching that? Got a lot of people coming in and out of that. The most recent is Ashton Hawkins going to Baylor, reuniting with
really?
Coach Jake Spavital, the offensive coordinator now at Baylor under Dave Ramsey.
I totally missed that. How did I miss that he went to Baylor?
Because you hate Ashton Hawkins and you always have.
That sucks. Yeah,
I need a fucking Baylor Bears framed jersey for how much I fucking rode for Ashton last year, honestly.
No, exactly. Yeah, no, it's disgusting how much you rode for him. I mean, good for him. I hope things work out. I'm glad that Spavital is in Baylor because I like him in Texas.
And we don't play him at all ever in the next like 6 years.
I think he's a good recruiter. I think that he's going to do a lot of good stuff over at Baylor.
So Sark goes to Alabama, and Jake Spavital next year goes to Texas after whatever fill-in guy they hire in the offseason peters out.
No, that would be. I'll tell you, if Spavital ever gets a head coaching job again,
you know what's crazy too is we'd play him in 2026. Texas,
yeah.
So whatever change happens, if Sark leaves, we will get to the benefit.
We'll get the. Do we? All right, let's
sloppy seconds for Texas.
Time out. Run this question back.
Yeah.
Sark goes to Alabama. Do we get his replacement or his replacement's replacement in 2026?
We get to play his replacement's replacement. Yeah.
The guy wouldn't last 4 years.
I don't know. Texas is a hard job, right? You were saying earlier how Texas is like a great job. I think Texas is one of the fucking hardest jobs in the country now.
I think that Texas thinks Texas is a great job. I would argue that Texas is one of the harder jobs. Like if you did a tier system, Alabama clearly number 1, right? Ohio State and Michigan probably 2A and 2B. I think Texas is in that like 5 to 7 range ish, where it's like it's a hard job. Like it's not a layup. That's a job that like if you don't do well, they will let you know about it.
I think A&M's pretty good job considering they gave out like national security secrets for NIL money basically for Texas A&M Qatar. So, and I said that shit was gonna happen a year ago, and it did.
You said it too. I told you too. I said that.
I said it. I've been bashing Texas A&M Qatar for a long time.
Like, what are you talking about here? You fucking loser. Oh, I thought OPEC's oil money was going to affect Texas A&M more than you. Okay, got it. Cool.
What do you mean
Good job,
BP
dude.
didn't help those ducks with Dawn soap? Something that we're still watching, right? I don't have Instagram right now, so I ask Andrew Zimmel to keep abreast of all these situations. But something we're still watching is TJ Finley and whether or not
Monitoring.
he's gonna fucking stay or go.
You might know this name. TJ Finley's been at a couple of SEC schools, but has found a home in San Marcos.
6'7", an absolute monster back there.
TJ Finley, a lot of fun to watch chuck that football around the field, isn't he?
Careers on shelves like Amazon distribution center. Hell, really hate to call them broke you for the dirty work. I'd rather do it by myself.
And he hasn't made a decision yet. He keeps advertising that soon, or whatever. You know, he keeps posting highlights along with all these other guys. By the
I
way,
get it.
Ashton Hawkins did the same thing. As soon as these guys jump in the portal, Evan King, other guys at Texas State who control the marketing stuff for Texas State athletics, stop giving them access to the shared drive of highlights.
Yeah, cut their mic.
Change
Their
the
mic. Don't let
password.
them- Change the password, bro. But could you imagine that group chat where you have the entire football team and then it's just like, say Ashton Hawkins left chat, and then the next text is from the social media guy, password changed to like 12ABC, and then like TJ Finley's left chat, password changes, and then TJ Finley re-enters chat, and then it's like thumbs up emoji. You're like, hell yeah, we got TJ. I would be, dude. I would honestly, if I was like a sophomore or freshman, I'd put all the guys who are like seniors and juniors, or actually the whole team, put them all in a group chat, and all the iPhone users, the Android users, go, you can leave, but the iPhone users, put them all in the group chat, and then just every day be like, who has it better than us? Photos at the river, photos at fucking Chewy's, photos at Old Main, photos in Alkek, photos at Bikini Hill, and be like, why would you people ever want to leave this? And then you can totally leave in 2 years. But if I was a freshman or sophomore, I'm like, I'm doing everything I can to make sure you fucking stay. We're building something here. I want to win 4 bowl
That would be
games.
your mission as the recruiting coordinator, or what? What are you in this situation?
No, as a freshman, I come in with GJ Kenny, and all of a sudden GJ Finley wants to leave. Fuck that. If I'm a wide receiver, I'm like, no. I saw what you did this year. Your ass needs to stay, bro. Because I don't know what the next guy looks like. CJ Rogers out here, probably a great guy. But we talked to Brady and Vitt at the bowl game.
We didn't just
both-
talk. We had a night with those guys, reconnecting with like old friends. That's what it was.
Yeah, we reconnected with old friends. They reconnected with some old enemies. I'll
They
tell you that.
reconnected with some old adversaries. You're right.
So they had a great time with us. No, but like we talked to them and they kind of were like, we couldn't have done this. Was kind of the vibes I was getting. So though it's kind of tough on those guys. But anyways, if I was a freshman, I'm like, I don't want TJ Finley to leave. Keep his ass here.
Shout out to Seamus O'Kelly. He was also part of that group that was out. So he played that night. Then he went out with us. And I was just like, Seamus, I've always wanted to tell you this. I followed your entire fucking career at Texas State. We haven't had a punter besides Seamus since 2019, which coincides directly with when I took over at the Star for the sports. And I was like, Seamus, I love you.
He had a problem, and I told him that like he was the best player on the team, couple games, and that was a problem for me with him.
Yeah.
It's not really his fault. That's
what his coordinator said too, Daniel DePrado. He was like, I love Seamus. I love who's the guy that we had as a kicker? I don't even know because we didn't attempt that many field goals. But yeah,
James Sherman for a long time.
Well, it's not James Sherman anymore. He's the director of football operations now.
No. But when he was there, he was the kicking.
Yeah,
guy.
no fucking shit, Grandpa. All right, move on.
Where was Tyler Jones? That was a real thing. Like I wanted to see more Bobcat because we saw Jeff Foster.
Mm-hmm.
We saw a lot of the football team. I wish I would have seen more. That's my
we got
big take.
kicked out of that bar too, by the way. That what is it called? Frankie's or whatever. They kicked us all out at 11. There was like a basement portion that Texas State had rented out, and then they also spilled up into the upper tiers. And the real Bobcats were escorted out of that place, had the lights turned off on them, and then we went across the street and drank another bar.
Who closes well, I guess it was like Tuesday night. Whatever. I was gonna say who closes the bar at 11 o'clock
After Christmas.
Yeah. People want to go back to their families. I get it. You know what? I retract that part. I get it.
Yeah. No, that's the shittiest part of that whole endeavor is that it was the day after Christmas. I wish it had happened the week before.
No, the shittiest part was trying to find the fucking airport. What are you talking about?
Oh shit. I totally forgot about that. Yeah.
I didn't. That shit sucked.
So Zimmel took me to the airport the next day after we drank all night. We came back at like 2 a.m. We have to leave the hotel at 6:30 in the morning. So Colton McWilliams, Zimmel, me back at the hotel sleeping.
In remember, one bed.
One bed, two boys. What
Yeah.
happened? Spread some rumors, everybody.
Oh yeah. There's 3 of us. You decide who got the bed.
You decide. Yeah.
You figure it out.
Who was the cuddliest?
Rumors will spread that way.
But anyway, 4 hours after we get back from the bars, we wake up. Regrettably, I didn't pack any of my shit. So now I'm scrambling in the middle of the night to pack all my shit as I wake up Colton. And Zimmel is getting his shit together too. We all walk out into the lobby at like 6:45. Get in the car. Zimmel, we'd have like a 40-minute fucking journey back to DFW. Get to the airport. We're just going in circles for like 30 minutes. We can't find this fucking entrance. We keep going in circles, 30 minutes goes by. Zimmel's gas light goes on. And I'm like, Zim, we're not going to make it. I see the writing on the wall. I'm like, going to miss my flight, all this shit. So he pulls over to the Hertz rental cars, drops me off like I'm a refugee. I have to hitch a ride, go through security. Then, thank God I was looking at my phone because I was on my way to the opposite side of the terminal, right? It was like gate 2 or whatever. They changed my fucking flight to gate 99. So I hit the end of the fucking terminal and turned around and had to fucking haul ass. And then my flight was delayed. So that was the shittiest part for sure.
I drove 4 hours back home after that ordeal. So you be the judge, fans.
Who had a worse night?
Who had it worse?
But at least we had a good night's sleep, you know?
What are you talking about?
Oh, yeah, never mind. That's another thing. Zimmo has sleep apnea, everybody. You learn a lot from your friends doing this thing. At one point, I looked at Colton and I was like, I think I'm going to kill myself. This guy, and no, not even that. Zimmo is going to die in the next 3 years. We didn't get help with this.
I don't tell you. I got nothing.
But yeah, good overall. Whatever. Pro day. Brian Holloway and more people are declaring for the draft. At some point, we'll have a pro day. Maybe we'll cover it. They usually do these things very early in the morning, like 7:30 in the fucking
that's
morning.
not happening.
For me to get fucking San Antonio, I'm either gonna have to ask for the day off or have some advanced planning at work here. So we will keep you fucking up to date if we actually end up going.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Jakey, you're on top of that because I am on the air at 7 o'clock.
So honestly, who effing knows? I missed it last year because there's no fucking way I was gonna make it.
So Brian Holloway, I think he's probably the number 1 guy in this draft.
Too. I got to hit up our boy Pat Curran, Savion's old agent, see if Pats are on his radar right now.
Yeah, that might be the move.
Malik left to Arkansas State. Did you see that?
Yeah, I was not impressed by that because Arkansas State had their season saved by a freshman. So I don't know Malik.
Where'd that guy go? What the fuck?
He's still there, I thought.
No. So they're just like, fuck this guy. He's not the future.
I think Malik is going to go compete for that quarterback spot.
No,
you know what I mean?
I don't know if I'm Malik. I don't know if I want to compete with that freshman. That guy was really good.
No, that's what I'm saying. I don't know why he would go.
You got some old bones.
So Jalen Raynor is still at Arkansas State, I think.
Yeah.
For now, Malik Hornsby is still going there. So anyway, I just wanted to add that.
Malik, spread some rumors. So right now is the time of year where everybody's very high on their teams, very coming off of this like euphoric, deal that we're all on. UTSA won a bowl game. We won a bowl game. We both still hate each other. This guy on Twitter, Meet Media, says he will post a video of him tasing his nuts if Texas State beats UTSA this year. I don't know if I want to see that, but I want him to live up to his promises on the internet.
Yeah, no. Anytime anybody wants to do anything to their genitalia about like a sporting event, like Mike Vrabel, former head coach of the Tennessee Titans, talked about chopping off his Johnson out of like if they won the Super Bowl.
Johnson.
All right, cool. I mean, I'm woke, so I'm here for it. This dude talking about tasing himself. We have tasers.
We do. We got it as Christmas gifts 2 years
He
ago.
can sign up. I'm down. I'll do it, bro. But it's a one-way street. I'm not getting anything tased on me. That's gonna hurt. I don't think has he been tased before? Does he understand what the body does when getting tased?
Even our little sissy ones, they're more like for show and they make a really loud noise than anything.
Well, I don't know. You haven't been hit yet.
Oh no, I got hit several fucking times after you fled the fucking country. I'm still here. I was taking those tasers for months.
Good.
Anyway,
I brought mine out. I brought mine to a couple of sporting events.
what?
Make sure I got to I made sure I got to the parking lot safely.
Wow, look at you. Women's self-defense item.
Yep. I'm here for it.
The college football playoffs have ended. And if you are not a Michigan Wolverine, you're probably not very excited with how your team ended up, especially if you're a Husky fan. I'm so sorry for you guys' loss. But you can still shop the greater lineup at Home Field. Home Field's got all the products you need. They got teams all across the country, not Texas State. But we're hoping to change that soon. So shop homefield.com. Use Square at checkout. Zim, it's the start of the new year. Do you have any New Year's resolutions? Not really the start of the year. I guess it's already the new year.
Yeah. Do I have any resolutions?
Yeah. Are you keeping resolutions?
I think that I think those New Year's resolutions are kind of bogus. I'm always like, I think I have month plans and like 6-week plans and 4-year plans and stuff like that, and I try to stay disciplined to those.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, for the 2024, what I want is I want a conference championship from the women's basketball. In women's basketball, I want them to win a conference tournament and go to the NCAA tournament. And I'm not asking, a 16 seed's fine. I want them to win the conference championship in the tournament. Regular season's great. I want a banner in Strand Arena. I also very much want to make it to the debate. The debate is going to be incredible at Texas State. So pumped up. I want to find a way to get there, either through the media or just as a bystander, because the first time that a Texas university gets to have a presidential debate, it's going to be fucking legendary. I don't want to miss out on that. And then finally, I don't know. I'm trying to think of a third thing. I just kind of last year was
are
really
all
good.
not resolutions. I mean, the first one is, but the other one isn't.
I mean, I don't know. Go to the presidential debate. I mean,
how is that a resolution?
Go to a lot of things. I don't go to a lot of things. If you haven't been keeping track, I went to one football game this year.
Mm-hmm.
I've been to 0 basketball games in 3 years. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I think that's a good resolution. Go to more Texas State sporting.
Yeah, well, it helps that you're in the state now, so
yeah. They didn't play Wyoming. If they would have played Wyoming when I was in North Dakota, I would have gone.
That's true.
I made the drive.
I have some.
What's your resolution, Mr. Super Trooper?
I have some legitimate resolutions. I'm doing self-care and self-love. I'm trying to be a better CEO of me. You like that?
So I get a lot of crap as like a bleeding heart liberal. People are always like, "Oh, what are you, vegan?" I don't look vegan. I don't know why people say that. But you are like, when they talk about the people who stormed the beaches of D-Day, and they're like, "This is a soft generation," they're talking about you.
You think so?
100%. 100%.
You know why I can say some of that stuff though is because I'm brown and I have a mustache. Like, oh, you have to be sensitive to him. You don't know what he's gone through in his life.
Okay.
No? You're not buying that shit.
No. That's like, I'm not buying that at all. That's an insane. Yeah, no. Self-care and self-love. I love that for you, Jakey. I hope that
I'm just trying to have like a better like life balance overall. Like I don't know.
Yeah, after 2023, where it ruined your relationship.
Last year freaking went off a fucking cliff for me. So yeah, overall, I just want to come out.
That's what we call learning from our mistakes. That's not a resolution. That's learning from our mistakes. That's like if I was a fucking like, if I was somebody, I had a heart attack, and I'm like, 2024. I'm gonna lose weight.
More cheeseburgers.
Yeah, you fucking hope so. I hope that you learned a lesson from the heart attack. Oh, my work-life balance was so bad it ruined my relationship of 4 years. I'd hope that in 2024 you'd be like, I want to be.
I don't know if that was the only thing, but it definitely didn't help.
No.
Some would say though that that covering Texas State's most
Some would argue.
season ever would be worth it. I mean, you can't take that shit back, right?
Yeah. I mean,
Anybody? Comment down below. Did I ruin my life last year? I'm laughing, but I've really done some work in therapy on this, guys. The sad part is this is all fucking true. This is not a bit. Yeah, but I want to talk about different resolutions each athletic team may have now. So football last year, we just wanted them to be okay, create some positive
6-6.
headlines.
Yeah.
6-6. That's what we were at the very outset of this podcast, and they lived up to it. So where do they fucking go from here? Is it conference title time? Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That 100% needs to be the next step, is to compete for a conference championship. Now, competing for a conference championship and winning a conference championship are two very different things. Every coach will tell you that. But to be in the race in 2024 to win the West and then potentially win the Sun Belt is going to be big. Probably because this might be the last year we have our division. I think that the divisions in the Sun Belt are going to go to the wayside, like they've gone to the wayside in a lot of conferences in college football. So if you're a Texas State fan, I think the expectations need to be 8 wins. Like, I think 8 wins the conference this year. But it might need to be 10. It might need to be 9 or 10. So I think that's a fair resolution.
I think you're right. You talked about women's basketball needing to win a conference title. I think a very simple goal for the
Not happening this year.
I think a very simple goal for the men's team is to be healthy and actually come out like on top ahead of the conference tournament, which we haven't been able to do in the fucking 3 years. So
yeah.
I don't know. It seems like all these guys are busted all the time, or we don't have our starting 5, or we don't really know what that looks like until the tournament time. I want to just know beforehand what the hell we're getting into.
The most physical sport, football, we didn't have a lot of injuries.
Well, percentage-wise, too, because there's less players. So if you take out one guy, like it means a lot more on basketball side than it does football.
We never had we didn't have any like major like I guess ish getting we tore an ACL at the beginning of the year. But for the most part, like the guys who played. Basketball, I don't know. It's the same training staff, I think. I don't know what the problem is.
Soccer, we love our guy. We talked to him on Square Talks. But I think soccer team needs to get back to its winning ways.
That's fair. That's a fair point.
They did show out pretty well, though. They had like mostly like true freshmen. They were kind of in the same situation as the volleyball team, which we did not cover last year. That was all.
They are built for 2024. I think the soccer team has a really good shot here to make a nice little run.
An explosion under Steve Holt. Volleyball, really impressed last year. Again, we did not cover it on this podcast.
Every year for the volleyball team is essentially just like it's no rebuild, it's a reload. So
this is a big proven year for Coach Hewitt, though. I think this is like his whole team, this is his whole squad, and so he's like, I'm doing this shit my way.
Didn't they go to the NCAA tournament this year?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So last year wasn't that?
Well, I mean, they didn't get to an NCAA tournament. Remember, they got robbed. It was like their seniors that were like, we deserved this, but we didn't win at the end. So now this was the year powered by freshmen again that took it all the way and then lost in the Austin Regional. Will we ever get out of that hell? No. But
maybe that's the resolution. Maybe it's beat the defending national champion in Texas Longhorns.
Dude, that'd be fucking nuts. At Gregory Gym?
Yeah, maybe that's the resolution. I know it's a high bar, but
no.
You gotta win 3 games?
Where do you go from there? Because our volleyball team is so good,
I think, but there is a difference between being great in the Sun Belt and being great on the national stage, and winning 2 games at that regional would be ginormous.
Track and field, always very successful. Another very successful team. I'll tell you what I want to do this year. I want to talk to our boy Dom Yancey. Some of the best tweets in the Twitter sphere. Track and field. He's an interesting guy. I want to talk to more of those guys more on their way to winning. I think they had like 3 All-Americans last year. We talked to one of them, Chris Preddy, Cedricia Wynn, and then
I'd like to have Chris back on.
Yeah, Chris was a good hang, and now he'll be a sophomore. So
he's a good time. Talking about what he learned from point A to point B.
Baseball, God damn it, we can't get swept by Louisiana. That's our resolution. Those guys hate us over there.
Yeah, we had a tough time last year. I think that it's going to be revenge season for sure. Revenge season for Trouty and the boys.
You and me have a
Jake,
date planned for March already to go see the Houston College, whatever, what is it? The
yeah,
Astros Classic.
yeah. We had a Jacob curse last year, and I'm glad that that's kind of gotten over. But hopefully, it doesn't rear its ugly head again, where every team we talk to loses.
I really
And
have
I
to
feel good
thank
about it.
really have to thank Steve Trout for the success that Squarin Around had, because really it was me becoming obsessed with the baseball team last season that kind of led to us taking off and learning how to cover sports again and figuring out what the hell this podcast was supposed to be. Between me spreading podcast or propaganda about Steve Trout all over the place week to week
I'm literally calling 3 games a week,
in North Dakota, who cares?
learning how to cover sports again.
Yeah.
I
I,
just
I was taking some of my first steps last year.
you put me in a great. It's like every time. It's like we learn how to. It's like nah, dog. What are we talking about here?
Hey, it's like Iron Man and what's his like little AI buddy?
Jarvis?
Yeah, you're Jarvis.
Am I Jarvis?
I'm Iron Man. Because I have a mustache.
Sport. Okay, softball.
Softball.
You're going to the dinner.
First pitch dinner, yeah. And this year, actually, Texas State is hosting the Sun Belt Conference tournament. So you and I will be at that for sure in the springtime.
That makes sense.
It'll be really cool.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun time.
My New Year's resolution is to fucking watch more softball because I didn't even know you could run and pitch at the same time. Or what is it? Run and bat at the
Run
same
and
time?
hit,
Remember when I was getting an education
slap
during
butt.
the NCAA tournament last year?
That's the worst.
That's another education moment.
How'd you not know that you can slap butt? That's insane.
Hey, it happens.
Yeah. Glad that Jessica's here for her entire career. That was something I was concerned about with transfer portal and stuff, but I'm glad that she's sticking it out, spending
Well, especially
time
with all the stuff that she was going through too, like medically,
Yeah, that's true.
she still through the summer she was going through some stuff. So it'll be interesting to talk to her and Coach Woodard again.
Yeah.
Get them on
She
at
got
the
a really
same.
nice buck the other day.
Hmm?
I don't know if you saw that. She had a really nice buck the other day
No, I didn't see.
on her Instagram. Yeah.
I'll put the clip. Cross country, literally don't know what they did last year. Can't be good though. No, I don't know.
Let's keep it moving.
Keep it moving. Golf, the men's team won the NIT for golf last year. That was pretty sick. And they shut us the fuck up. Women's team, I think, won a couple of tournaments too. Also shut us the fuck up. I think just continue to doing that.
Yeah, for sure.
And finally, tennis. You and I have said it before. Easily the worst team on campus. So sorry, girls, but it's the same thing this year. Be good again.
I linked with one of them on Tinder one time. Like we
Oh.
matched, and I was like, hell yeah. And then unmatched immediately.
She unmatched you.
So, yeah.
That sucks.
But I don't remember. So it's just another loss in the column. So
For them or you?
For them.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
100%. No,
Would you say you drew in tennis when that happens though? Because you got rid of a loser and she got rid of a loser also.
move on.
That's all I really wanted to talk about today. We're just kind of getting back into the swing of things. Obviously, it's kind of the spring season. Eventually, once all these sports are kind of up and running towards the end, especially, it'll be crossover season. We'll go to this fucking spring game. It'll be really fun again for like 2 weeks in the spring. But other than that, this show will really be based on basketball, baseball, softball, and all the other things going bump in the night through the spring.
And the presidential debate.
Well, that's in the fucking fall, Zimmel. Come on.
It's coming. It's
Yeah.
coming. Lock in, dude.
We're doing this like podcast in kind of quarters. This is Q1 for us until like March. And then that's Q2. And then Q3 will be a really eventful year with football and the debate.
Yeah. Elite sports and home field. Be keeping track of our metrics. Because let's talk.
Oh, I have one more housekeeping item before we wrap this show. I made some changes to our link tree. So now if you click on our link that's on our podcast, Twitter, on X, @SquarinPod, you'll get a main link to all of our feeds and stuff. Additionally, if you want to support the show, you can also click our link for Elite Sports and Home Field. That helps you go right to our show. There's also a link that'll take you directly to support our show. You can click follow on all the platforms and stuff. That also helps us out a bunch. So yeah, I just made the whole process a lot easier for everybody by adding direct links to shit that I should have done like months ago. So
yeah, you too busy spending time on your relationship.
Yeah,
Not enough time on the podcast.
exactly. Woe is me.
No.
All right. Squaring Around season 2 off the ground, buddy. Can you feel it? We're taking off.
Feel it in my loins. I'm excited for season 2.
Sweet. Thanks everybody for listening.
We ain't got no badges. We don't need no badges. I don't have to show you any stinking badges.
Better not come any closer.
Thanks for listening. New episodes out every Thursday. Follow the boys on Twitter. Eat 'em up. Eat 'em up.